Yakuza is a game series where you can say, I'm being hunted by the Yakuza and my life is in grave danger. What if I just went and, played baseball? Just gonna go play baseball. The hell with the Yakuza. Play ball! To be honest with you, I wasn't sure what to expect when I started Yakuza 0. All of my knowledge was surface level memes, and I knew nothing else. What I certainly didn't expect was one of my favorite stories in a game in a long time. One that surprised me almost as much as it made me tear up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get started where Yakuza 0 gets started. 1988 in a booming Japanese economy. Wait, Jim, stop the music. Friday night is good and all, but play the real best disco song. That's better. We follow two split protagonists, Kiryu Kazama and Goro Majima, both extremely well-mannered gentlemen just trying to move their way up in the world. More specifically, the underground world of the Yakuza. To this end, Kiryu is a member of the Yakuza for about the first hour or two of the game before he's kicked out, while Majima begins the game kicked out of the Yakuza. They're off to a great start. The decision to split the game down the middle, as it were, by having dual protagonists is honestly a genius move. Kiryu and Majima both have entirely unique fighting styles to the other, the only thing in common being the permanent head trauma they give to criminals. This inevitably leads to the question of, who has the more interesting combat? It's Majima. I think Breaker style alone makes him 10 times more fun than Kiryu. I mean, you literally dance on your opponents. That's fucking sick. But someone who likes picking up weapons from the street to mow down enemies might far prefer Beast style. So giving the player 6 different fighting styles to choose from means everyone will have a favorite. One of the reasons the story in particular hits so well for me is that it never got spoiled. Yakuza fans just shitpost about the game all the time, so I actually had zero idea of the story beforehand. It's a welcome change of pace, because I am so tired of people on the internet's obsession with spoiling anything they can get their hands on minutes after it releases. I think the split protagonist is actually what made the story stick so well. Speaking of splitting, it's crazy how at any point you can just leave the main story and... As soon as the story starts getting good on one character, the whole focus shifts and you fly back around to the other character, picking up from whatever exciting moment their story left off on. Some might degrade that for taking the wind out of the story's sails, but it just had me eager to keep playing and see what was coming next for both characters. Also, this right here, these two, don't even get me started. Enough about the main story, who cares about that? Fuck, that got me. Shit. It's time for the real meat from Yakuza, the sub-stories and side content. One of the first sub-stories Yakuza 0 threw at me was being a director for a movie, taking on the role due to the absence of the old director. I'm not sure if this is the intended first sub-story or not, but it does do a great job of showing you what to expect from the average Yakuza sub-story. You will be eager to get to the next story beat. You will get interrupted by some random citizen who desperately needs your help, and you will almost never expect what's gonna happen. Also, expect every sub-story to end with Kiryu or Majima whooping some ass, because it's fun. Seriously, it is so much fun to beat people's ass in this game. I touched on the combat styles earlier, but Yakuza makes it feel like Christmas to have a bunch of random thugs walk up to you because you're about to level up and they look like just enough XP, but also because throwing a punch feels so good in this game, from the sound effects down to the actual impact, especially if you're in rush and you just wombo combo the enemy. That's not to mention Beast style, enemy to all bicycles belonging to local residents, the weapon of a monster who prefers to end street fights quickly and brutally. Every single combat style has its own set of combos, counters, dodges, heat actions, you name it. Oh, yeah, heat actions. Have you ever been playing a game and thought to yourself, wow, I sure wish I could fucking kill this person in front of me, maybe in a humorously over-the-top manner. Here you go. Cave a person's skull in, stab them, snap their neck, do whatever you want. It's okay, because after all that, whoever you're fighting will just hold their stomach and promise to never do it again. Needless to say, there's a little bit of disparity between what you do in gameplay versus what actually happens. A general rule for the Yakuza series you'll quickly learn is, if it doesn't happen in a cutscene, it didn't actually happen. Kiryu will take 5 gunshots during gameplay, be fine, but get shot twice in a cutscene and literally be on death's door. It's interesting to see a game simultaneously take itself completely serious for the main story and then drop all pretense for sub-stories, but it's honestly just peak. It shows that the developers understand this is just a game. It's supposed to be fun before everything else. Who cares if that guy you stabbed gets up and runs off after the fight? It's funny. Now, say you want a sub-story without all this violence. You just want to show some love and get paid for it. Let me introduce you to the best side story in the entire game, the Cabaret Club. Kiryu and Majima both get an entire side quest revolving around different ways they make money in this booming economy. And while Kiryu's real estate minigame put me to sleep, Majima's actually caught my attention. More so because it was a little more interactive for my tastes, but also because I love the subplots with Yuki and taking over rival clubs, all while getting to play dress up with these cute hostesses. Plus, it just shows off a gentler, more sane version of Majima that I've come to miss since playing Kiwami 1 and 2. And all of the aforementioned craziness was just technically from like 3 different sub-stories, not to mention the pile of other things I did for the people of Kamurocho and Sotenbori, like play Pocket Circuit, teach the son of Dojima how to not be such a little shit, teach a dominatrix how to actually dom, get harassed by an old lady, hit a... or fail to help this stupid guy cross the bridge. Like, why is this actually the hardest thing I've done in the game so far? Speaking on the main story again, Kiryu is introduced from the outset as this hard-willed, always there for his friends sort of protagonist that only gets cemented as time goes on. He's practically unbeatable in a fight, and full of dedication to rise in the ranks of the Yakuza, until he gets kicked out. Majima, introduced as his mirror of sorts, has one of the strongest character introductions I've seen in a video game, humbling a rowdy customer by calming him down without throwing even a single punch. Majima, like Kiryu, is banished from the Yakuza, and desperately looking for a way to get back into the good graces of his clan. It's this dichotomy of 2 people only knowing one way to live, and being forced into a way of life they might not be comfortable with. Majima as the Lord of the Night, and Kiryu as the Lord of Real Estate, one of which sounds way cooler. I found Majima's story beats far, far more interesting the more I played. He's tasked with killing someone, something he is immediately apprehensive to actually go through with. You're led to believe that it's this big burly man that you get into a kick-ass fight with, whole time thinking, hell yeah, get his ass, Majima, until, oops, it was actually that blind girl from earlier. That poor girl is his real target. I could yap on and on about how this works so well, about how this man who's partially blind himself sent to kill someone completely blind, being unable to do it, and slowly over the course of the game getting genuine feelings for her as he learns her death is completely unnecessary, and that she has no real reason to be caught up in Yakuza business, all culminating in him choosing to keep himself secret from her, solely to keep her safe and living as a civilian, showing that he cares for her with the absolute truest form of love? Man, come on. Kiryu and Nishiki, they have this whole sick-ass bromance you'd expect from 2 people who join the Yakuza together. They have a ton of raw-as-fuck scenes that really cement they'll always have each other's backs, and Nishiki even has a perfect opportunity to kill Kiryu and decides not to. They are bros for life. And how did this even come to pass? Why did they join the Yakuza, you may ask? Well, it has a little something to do with this bastard, Kazama, but he's not really important to Zero, so he'll get his proper grilling when the time comes in the Kiwami video. Just know, even when Zero started, I kinda didn't like this guy. Kiryu, Tachibana, and Oda have this really nice Three Amigos type vibe, even if none of them ever actually, fully trust each other. Disregarding that, I was a big fan of the combo heat actions they got during the escape from the Tojo clan. It really made them feel like this kick-ass ragtag team of real estate agents just whooping some ass. The whole real estate thing in general was a nice backdrop to keep Kiryu's story running, and it led to some really good moments, like the infamous show your business card QTE. It's stuff like this that makes me love Yakuza. Fucking a business card QTE? Oh my god. The intense variety of feelings I felt playing Yakuza 0 is a testament to how invested it gets you into even the smallest subplot it throws at you. It feels like real fucking life, where in just a few days you'll go from being happy to sad, to laughing, to crying, to wondering how you got into this situation, then back to happy. If there was a single word to describe Yakuza 0, it would be emotion. If I had to pick a second, it would probably be